What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Snapshot Podcast. Today we have the full-on team here. And you guys have not seen Nani yet.
I'm always behind the camera.
Yeah, she is our second filmer and just helping us throughout this whole process of making Snapshot what it is. So you want to give people a little debrief of who you are and how you've been helping us for Snapshot?
The debrief is that I am a jack of all trades and a master of none. So I usually am doing the sound behind the camera here, but also like when we're out, I'll do second filming and I can also take photos. So whatever they need an extra pair of hands on is what I do.
Oh,
Yeah. Then we need some backup. It's Nani. She's a hybrid. She does it all. Really does.
Right, helping us just with everything. So she's a big piece of the podcast. So not just me and Jeff, we got true team player right there.
Yep.
But
Facts.
anyways, today we are going to be talking about Scottsdale Fashion Week and then New York Fashion Week, two of the most recent shows that we've all done together.
Yep.
So we kind of want to give you guys our experiences and perspectives on how it was just being at those events. So
Just some feedback on what it was like. you know,
Yeah.
And then a little bit, probably some stories on the different type of contents that we've been posting from those shows.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, for sure. So I mean, Scottsdale Fashion Week, day one. How did you guys feel about it?
For me, I was
something?
kind of a mess the whole day. I can't even lie. Like it was completely good. I was just like
That was your
Like,
first show,
yeah.
right? Or how many fashion shows have you done before that one?
a few. I've done Tempe and Phoenix before.
Okay.
But I think it was also your first show covering it with us, too.
Yeah, and it
for
was
the
also my
podcast.
first show doing video.
Oh, really?
I've always done photos, and it's like being in the media pit, just like crouched down in the front.
So this is a whole just different experience with like.
Right,
The
working
host.
with you guys and taking video instead. So
And we're
That's-
definitely appreciative of the fact that we had like hosts to be a part of this, too. And then you were connected with the host, and you guys were just doing your thing, doing your coverage.
yeah, so like working with somebody else and like figuring out too like who was important,
Yeah.
who we were trying to get interviews with, and like and not just who was important, just like who we wanted to talk to, with regards to getting good content. So I was a bit of a mess.
It was funny.
But-
She had literally everything written down that we were like wanting to get filmed, the people to talk to. She had it all written down on her hand over here.
Yeah, because
prepared,
I didn't
too.
want to forget anything. So, because, dude, you guys already know, if I don't write it down, I will not remember. If it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So I need to so before each show, I was like, who are the designers, what shots are we getting, and
Yeah, that was hilarious.
just little things.
I think like the first show, I know. For the first show, you were paired with Francella.
Yes,
Right?
love
How
her.
did that go with Francella? Like, what were the things that you guys were doing that day?
Francella, love her, Latina. But she's really good at talking to people. So she obviously has knowledge in the fashion community.
Just like experience.
And so me and her were just working together to like make sure we were finding people that were well dressed, and like we were just running into people and making sure to like look through because it was at the one home. So looking through the house, making sure we got good shots of the house. Yeah, no, it was great working with her.
Yeah, that one home was crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
shout out to the one home because I don't even know how to really explain the one home because you have the pool. There's 2 stories. There was the
Well, it's
room.
Low-key 3.
It's
Was
3.
it 3?
Yeah, 3.
Because the basement.
The basement,
The-
yeah.
Not the basement. The
Speakeasy.
speakeasy.
It's like a whiskey bar lounge area, which you don't expect when you go down there. You're like, this is dope.
Yeah, it's like all the way in the corner of the house
Yeah.
too. That was honestly probably the best house I've ever been in. Like
It was really cool.
such a
Yeah.
vibe, dude.
And we got great footage of it,
Oh yeah.
courtesy of Isaac and Nani.
Yeah, so that was the first day at the one home. What was your favorite part of the house? Was it the speakeasy?
It was a speakeasy. It really was a speakeasy. I didn't get to be down there too much, but when I went down there, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a shock where it was like, oh, this is down here. Cool.
Yeah. I wish
Yeah.
they were serving drinks down there because I would have like sat down for a bit, just like with a whiskey
He had
or
a little
something,
bar
feel
there
the
too.
vibe. Yeah.
I'm sure there was cigars in there too. I'm sure that's where he goes down and like has his meetings and like smoking cigar
Yeah.
type of thing. That's like the perfect vibe for it. But
But yeah, what was your favorite part of the house?
I honestly really like the top floor, like the
I
where
did
because
too.
it had the turf grass, and then like your view was crazy.
The view was
like
crazy.
you saw the pool, and then you could see just above the plants and all that, to where you can see like the rest of the city a little bit. So you could see like Phoenix kind of like a little far out, or like one of the tall buildings. So yeah, that top floor, that balcony, or what would you call that? Balcony, top floor?
I think so.
Balcony, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
about
just
right.
above the house, but
Big balcony, but yeah, it's a balcony.
dude, it's so sick. Like,
like
and
a
then they
patio.
have it's like so like perfectly organized too. So
It's laid out real well.
yeah, it was a great house.
Could you see the lights from there?
Which lights?
Which
Any-
lights?
Like,
Like
any
city
city
lights?
lights?
I saw a big building, like two, like in one corner of the house, you could see like some tall buildings. So I feel like that could have been like.
I'm not
or-
sure. For me, I wasn't looking, so I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
but
I'm
you
like
probably
trying to
could.
remember.
Yeah, it was.
We're
What about
busy
you?
working, guys. We're
Yeah, right.
Tapped in.
tapped in. What about you, Nani?
What?
Favorite part of the house?
Oh no, I agree with Isaac.
Same.
Top floor.
Yeah.
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 It
Did you?
was.
Yeah, you said yours is speakeasy.
The speakeasy.
Yeah.
And I did like the pool a lot. Just the structure of the pool was really, really interesting.
Yeah, that backyard was insane. And then like the way that they did the fashion show too was a little difficult for. I mean,
It was unconventional.
yeah, because
Conventional.
like right where they had the pillars, that's where the models were walking. So you really had a. I mean, because
Oh yeah.
one thing with like fashion shows too is I feel like that's why they have that big like wall behind them, so you don't really see the people. But with this one, like yeah, you were kind of forced to have the people sitting down watching in your shot, which
Oh, yeah. Time from the filming perspective.
yeah, or just photos
Yeah.
and all that too. Like yeah, that was like it was kind of a little difficult to get a good shot,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because you had to walk around a lot or really find that good place.
And the lighting was tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
the outfits were nice.
yes,
The
Very
outfits
nice.
were cool.
it was cool.
Who was the designer that night? Do you guys remember?
Amy and Mon.
Yes.
Amy and Man.
Yeah,
I think it was Amy and Man. Yeah.
Apologize for if we
No,
pronounced
yeah.
that wrong.
Yeah, if we pronounced it wrong, but those outfits were cool
Yeah.
too. Like very like
Really great
Very
fit.
sleek.
classy, like women like dress shirts and stuff like that, blazers.
Yeah.
Very
they had men
upscale.
in there too, no?
Hmm?
They had men in there too, no?
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
a few men, male models, male looks, but yeah, just the aesthetic of the fits and the wardrobe and the designs fit the location really well.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot of vision from Scottsdale Fashion in the way they coordinated and planned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you were
And-
kind of mostly backstage, right? Doing
Yeah,
the
I was
photos?
shooting backstage.
Those looked fire.
Vibing with everyone, which was fun. So I didn't get to see the looks on the runway, but yeah, it's
Your
yeah, it was
photos
so cool.
definitely stood out compared to everybody else's, because yeah, everybody else
You
was
had
just
different
at the like
Yeah.
media pit, so yours was definitely better. Better
Backstage-
smiles,
Backstage photos. That's
right? No, they looked good.
We're not biased at all.
no, not at all.
How was your filming though? Like during the like walking up to people and like having Franchella talk to them. How was it? Who was probably the best person you talked to, or the best little interview you
Ooh,
did?
that's a good question.
Probably. I would probably have to say with either Charlotte, who was we found out was a model, so we're like, oh, that's why you look so good today. Like because we went up to her because we liked her outfit.
Yeah.
And so she ended up walking Saturday and Sunday, but I think she was good on camera, and also we got to talk to oh my goodness, she did all the hair.
Oh, Cheryl.
Yes.
Cheryl.
yeah.
She was the one that was
Yes.
doing the hair for
Yes.
the whole event.
She has
yeah.
great hair, by the way. I want to throw that in there.
Very curly.
Yes,
Yeah, curly
great
long.
hair. Great hair cut also. It looks great. But we got like a little exclusive with her backstage, and she got to like say her 2 cents, which was cool. Unfortunately, part of me being a mess was none of the audio came out,
Yeah, on day one.
which is such a shame. Like, for whatever reason, I mean, you guys already know, but for whatever
Yeah.
reason, the audio through the mic wasn't working, but it was working through my camera. So
Yeah, it's probably the wrong like input or whatever from the connectors, but
probably.
yeah, we found out a way to cover that up. At least reacting to our stuff, that's always a good way to reuse the content that
Right, so-
originally, it wasn't.
Having to adapt all that, which
Yeah.
is tough.
We do get technical difficulties when we're at site doing what we do, and we have to like pivot and adjust and adapt. But
Yeah.
I think we managed that well.
What was that? What was like I mean, what were you going for when you were like before the shows and you were doing all your like event photos and stuff? Kind of what were you going for your photos?
In terms of like what I was aiming to capture.
Yeah,
type
or
of
like
thing?
who? Yeah.
Well, yeah, for event coverage, I like capturing the vibe. So it's guest interactions, guests having fun, almost very candid like. But I also do focus on the more posy because people just love a photo op. So like them standing together with their friends, a group of people. So that's always a way I approach it. One of the main things I do always try to focus on, and it's always my priority, is the backstage photography.
Yeah.
You know, just so I definitely was able to coordinate and talk to all the people in charge, SLE and Ford, and they create an environment where I was able to shoot backstage because one of the complications is that you have to make sure nobody's doing quick changes back there because that's not what we're trying to capture. Right. So yeah, thankfully there was that separation, so I was able to be in a little area to just capture the vibes. The models getting ready, or mentally prepping before they actually walk out there, I should say, or then them posing together, just their full outfits.
Yeah.
But just a little bit of all that. I mean, it's just capturing the vibes. That's what I try to focus on.
And because it's so different back there too, because they have to like as soon as they step out, they have to lock in and like really give their walk and their look their all. So they it's like that backstage moment is important.
Yeah.
It's like all you guys normally see, or viewers, when the models walk out, they're already model, face ready, they're fierce, they're walking, but right before they turn that corner, they're like either nervous or stressed or quiet, they're thinking, they're laughing. It's just, it's funny seeing how they turn the model face on the moment they turn that corner. And
yeah, that's one thing too. When we were doing the casting interviews, Jenny, we did an interview with her, and that was one thing she was like looking for when she was judging them. She was like, I want someone who is super smiley and like energetic, but once they hit the runway, they're like fierce, they're in it. So like I saw that a lot too, where they're super happy like backstage, and then right when they're on the runway, it's like lock in, serious. You know?
And I'll say this, the models definitely sold it and brought their A game, because just from the footage of what you guys captured when they were walking, like when I saw that, I'm like, yo, that show looked dope.
They're all so good at walking, dude.
Yeah,
they were all super talented. So it was great to even have them like in the video too. Like I already edited a bit of the Scottsdale Fashion Week video, and dude, their walks and just the outfits were just really cool. Like it was a great show for me.
What were you trying to like?
That whole day, I mean, kind of getting a little bit of everything. So I had a shot list to where they just wanted me to get certain shots. So that was where I just got the certain things that they needed. But whenever I kind of film, I like to just shoot what like I think will be good for that video, or like a certain angle than just a generic pan or whatever. So I kind of just like to be super creative on my shots, but still get everything they need me to get, but kind of put my own twist to what I'm filming.
Yeah, because you're really good at finding those, like that specific angle of moment. Be like, oh, this is going to be a dope shot when they're like walking by or they're turning a corner or something.
Yeah.
The way you like put that into the videos is always like.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Then I look back at it post-production, I'm like, yeah. I was like, I can't believe I got that. Yeah. So, yeah, day one was super cool. Yeah, one of my favorites, for sure.
What were each of our favorite moments from day one? Like, there's just like one single moment that you're like, yep, that's
honestly probably just getting there, like going to the event, because then we had the party bus and we had like the music and then like the lights. It was like a good way to like bring up our energy for the show.
Yeah, and not what we were expecting either, because like because when they told us we were gonna be shuttled or whatever, it was like, okay, so like we're gonna have to just get on a little bus.
That's
like,
what I thought too, like a little charter bus.
A little. I wasn't even expecting AC. I don't know about y'all. Were you expecting AC?
I wasn't really expecting like much from
I didn't know
shuttle.
what to expect.
I thought shuttle was like a little mini bus with like regular seats, but we walked in and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, but to give you guys a little insight into what we're talking about, like before the show started, they had us meet at a point. And it was like a secret rendezvous point. That's what it felt like. So we all parked and we're looking around. It's like, all right, where do we go? Where's the shuttle? And we saw like the Scottsdale Fashion Week team at one of the parking lot areas. And
way in the corner.
Way in the corner.
Way out there.
Kind of hidden,
like,
it's secret.
In the right place?
You know? Rendezvous.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think we're all on the same page. We're expecting the bus, but then there's this a shuttle van white van, you wouldn't expect much, but then when they opened the door, like, what was it like?
It was what all the
I mean,
lights.
I recorded it. Like, my
Yeah.
reaction as I was walking in, I was recording, and then as soon as I saw the lights, I was like, oh, we got lights up in here. Dude, yeah, that was my favorite, dude. Just going there was such a vibe. Like, it
Yeah.
felt fucking
There was
dope.
like AC. There was like it was nicely mooted, and they had the color lights, and then the seats were like really comfortable too.
They
Actually,
were like quilted a little
Yeah.
bit. They were like they're probably pleather, but
Yeah.
they were like a leather material, and then a little quilted, and they were comfy. Like they were
Yeah.
comfy. There was like a bench. Like it went around. It was technically like a party
Kind of.
party van.
Yeah.
it was like a limo, but in a van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
Because
just
they also
missing
had
our
like a bar
martinis.
area.
Yeah.
They had like a bar area, but they weren't.
They were
Yeah,
missing
no, they were-
martini mates, dude.
Yeah, right.
They
Martini
should have
mates.
had martini mates in there.
That would have
But-
been a dope idea. Just sponsor and just have it for the guests when they first get in.
Right?
Next
And
year,
then-
Scottsdale Fashion Week.
Yeah, we got an idea.
They also had the pink buses, the champagne buses. No.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get
those
to
are-
ride in those, but we saw them. So
The
I wonder
inside of it
what-
was like super like, I mean, the inside was stripped down. It was just like super vibey chairs, you know,
Yeah.
some neon lights,
It was
pink.
pink.
Yeah, it was a whole vibe in there. I wish we
Yes.
could have gone in there.
So
Yeah.
shout out to Kyle for the ones who he has his transportation with the vans, and then shout out to was it Champagne Bus? What was it called?
I didn't look at the names.
We should.
I
know
wish I
this.
had it on my arm.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, shout out
remember.
to them for the transportation, getting everyone to the location because that was dope. That was a nice
That
touch
was.
to the show.
Yeah, it was funny because one of them, like I was talking about it to a friend a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Where was the house at?" I was like, "I don't even know. The bus that we were in didn't have windows, so it was like we literally just went in a bus and just drove off somewhere, you know."
No, me and Francella looked at each other and like I think we were both like, what if this is just like not where we're supposed to be?
Yeah, right.
And I was,
It
you know,
was
like you
funny.
thinking the worst, and it's like, no, we're good. We're good.
No,
we're good.
yeah, the Scottsdale Fashion Week was
We opened
but,
the
yeah,
door
it
and we're
was
in
funny.
Mexico. It was like,
Right?
I think we got on wrong bus, wrong van, wrong white van.
Oh, God,
No,
it was
because on
funny.
the outside it is just like a white.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time.
Yeah, that was actually I would agree with that. That was one of my
Yeah,
favorite moments.
me
It's just
too.
that expectation the moment you get there. It's like, oh, so this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is the vibe, huh?
Yep. And they kept it going.
Yeah.
All right, so day 2, right?
Day 2, Mercedes Scottsdale. That show was really good. It was kind of the same as last year as well, like the setup, because I mean the runway. The first day was outside, and then the second day was up on the second floor. So that was kind of about the same. And then I mean swimsuit being
Yeah.
the first day
Yep.
was yeah, same as last year too. But I mean super cool vibe and
Yeah.
like
I
yeah,
li-
some of my favorite people. Oh, shut.
Okay.
You can go.
Because yeah, I liked what they did for sure. It was my first time with Scottsdale Fashion Week, so I wasn't expecting 2 different areas within the same location. It's like, oh, that's cool. Because that was the day 3. I was expecting it to be outside too, like day 1.
Oh yeah,
But I remember pulling up and I was just like, where's the runway?
yeah.
And then I go inside. I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah,
Day
and at
two-
least they made it look cooler too. Like
Mm-hmm.
the entrance, how the first day you were kind of walking in through kind of like the front doors, and then the second day you were like way on the other side and kind of had to go through that whole path to the front doors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it made it a lot cooler.
Day 2 definitely, in my opinion, had the best vibes. Like in terms of like everybody that was there, like the vendors, the people, the energy was like really good.
Yeah.
I feel like on day 2.
Even the outfits, huh? Like the day at the one home, I feel like the outfits didn't stand out as much as the next 2 days.
They didn't. Yeah.
No.
Like yeah, for sure those people came up very fashionable. There was so many people with like dope outfits. Yeah, it was really cool.
For sure. And also we had Colleen that day. We had Colleen
Yeah.
Saturday
As our
and
host. Yeah.
Sunday. Also love Colleen. She one of the first things she was like, I'm a one-shot wonder, and I was like, okay, you know.
That's what they all say.
I'll
No,
give one
lit-
take.
And I was like, okay. She was absolutely correct. She was absolutely
good.
correct. She's really good at talking. And like, I feel like that has to be a better way to say that. Like she's really
She's
good at.
She's good at talking.
Yeah, like she's really good with people. She's personable.
Yeah.
So, and I think too, she did well in keeping me in mind. Like,
Yeah.
and like not just conducting the interview like I wasn't there, but like, oh, like let's get a zoom in on the outfit, or like tell the people where to find you, like
oh, okay, nice.
like things like that. Where it's like yeah, like we were a good team.
Nice, that's good.
She knows what she's doing.
She does.
Yeah, Colleen was great. She did a great job. I can't wait to see all that footage, how that looks like in some of those interviews, because we did get which one was like one of your favorite ones from that day?
Ooh, honestly, 2 and 3 blended together a little bit for me. So I'm trying to think of who we.
I do feel like at some point it just felt like it all just blended because we went like 4 days straight.
Yeah.
It's like go and then.
Oh, we got to talk to Chloe Bean and
Another influencer.
yes, what was her name?
That was quite a bit of influencers
I wanna say-
there, or people who had a large following there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get it wrong, but we got to talk to both of them. We interviewed them together because I guess they're friends.
Was she the blonde girl that was with her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
She's
yeah.
a fitness influencer,
Yeah,
right?
she's in training and things. And they were both really cool. Interviewed them together, so I think that was fun. And we were kind of on fire, me and Colleen, because we were finding people. We accidentally found Cammy and Jax.
That's sick. Yeah. You
Yeah.
told me about that. I was like, let's go.
Yeah,
They're
so
one
like
of the designers.
yes,
Yep.
so they were one of the designers. They did the first. They were walked first, no?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I had them on my arm, and I'm like, okay, like we need to try to find these people. And so we were just looking for best dressed, and Colleen was like, oh, I really like their outfit. And so I was like, let's do them because they're together, so let's just do them together.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh,
Turned out to be Cammy and Jax.
yeah,
Let's go. Yeah, that was perfect. And then we got Rami Brooke too, like the
Yes.
PR person for Rami Brooke. We got her.
That was
on,
day
on
3,
film. Well, I mean, I was just kind of.
That was day 3.
Yeah, I was just kind of saying like,
oh yeah, that we found them too.
yeah, that we had
I have to go check.
the actual designers like interviewed. So I thought that was a really cool
I
thing.
think somebody's here.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
to go
someone
check
here.
on that. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Who's there? I got a bat. No, I'm just
So
kidding.
the,
Amazon.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Not even for us.
No way, wrong building.
Wrong
they got
building.
confused.
You know what I really liked about the day too was that big Scottsdale Fashion Week last box that they had.
Yes.
They didn't have that last year, but that was sick. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was like the photo op thing, right?
It was
Yeah.
a perfect photo op.
Mhm.
It was really good. I think we even did an interview in there.
In?
Inside, yeah.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
think I think it was he was one of the stylists for Air, which is one of the sponsors.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I
Sick.
think we did the interview inside of the photo op, so that was kind of fun.
That's
Sick.
cool.
Yeah. Then what about you? What was your kind of favorite moment from day 2?
A favorite moment from day 2. Ooh, that's a tough one. There's a lot of good moments that day.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
I mean, as a photographer, I wasn't able to shoot backstage that day, just because there was a lot of quick changes, swimwear. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be back there. But on the runway, I liked the fact that Scottsdale Fashion was very selective in terms of the photographers and video people.
Oh yeah.
So most shows, like when I was at Runway 7 for New York Fashion Week or Phoenix Fashion Week or other fashion weeks, the pit is filled with photographers and media people
To the brim.
to the brim. And you're like jam-packed like sardines in a can with all these other photographers. And I'm just like, gotta get a shot.
Yeah. All the yeah.
But no,
Too many
Scottsdale
people.
Fashion was very selective. So like it was just, what, maybe 4 or 5 of us in the pit?
Yeah, it was not too much.
Yeah.
That day.
And we all got like really fire shots and we all had room to just work and coordinate together. So like, as far as photography, I think my favorite moment was the ability to just
Sit
get
anywhere.
that content. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sit and have room.
There was like 4 people
Yeah.
there, 5 people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And they were all really good too. Like seeing their shots come out, like Ellie's shots.
Oh yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
seeing everybody's little spin on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will give a shout out to the free tequila samples, the tequila seltzer. Right? That was nice. I don't know if you guys had any.
I didn't.
I did not.
What? I didn't get
I'm not,
offered
I'm not
anything.
drinking on the job or anything. Nope.
Is that the tequila like with the red one? Where
Yeah.
It was a red box.
They had
Okay.
they
It
had a
was
little area
Los
outside.
Sundays.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
I saw those guys.
So they have 4 different flavors, really good. And then there was also the espresso machine that
Ooh, that
The
was
espresso
sick.
printer?
yeah.
Yeah. Like if
So-
you got a espresso martini at the bar, you could take it to the printer and they could put your face on it. Colleen did one, you did
I
one.
did. I put my face on a martini. Yeah.
Who?
I didn't put a face, but I did like the martini. It was like espresso martini. It was really good.
Dude, it was so good.
Yeah.
Like the foam was so creamy, and then like you actually drink the drink with it, and it like
Mm-hmm.
mixtured super well.
You slowly disappear from the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's like, okay, I'm gonna drink my face first.
And that was all Liquid Caterers, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that day, yeah, day two was definitely, I mean, a big shift from day one, just from the people and all that too.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the vibe and energy was really nice too, because there's people outside and inside, just mingling, having fun, talking, and connecting.
Hmm.
Definitely like the vibes of the
I had
guest
a-
experience.
I had a guy give me $20 also.
Oh yeah, you got a tip.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
was
like,
like, he was just a guy like I think he was a little lit. But he was just having fun. I think just like being a dude with money.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, can you take our picture? And I was like, I took him and his friend's picture with like the phone, and I was like, oh, like here's my business card, and he was like, he like pulled out like a wad of cash. Like it wasn't a money clip. Like that's it. There was no
Damn.
cards involved. It was a wad of cash, and he pulled out a 20, and I was like,
Like, all right.
I'm like, all right.
don't mind if I do.
Yeah, it's like, there's my meal. Two
All right.
meals.
No, literally, bought my In-N-Out later.
Dude, that's what, I've never been tipped before. Come on. Where's my tips?
All right. Same at the shows.
Well, I wonder what would happen like if a photographer like walked in with like a little clip on their waist that was for tips.
Dude, don't tempt me. Send me around with that thing. I'll put
Oh,
on Puppy
dude.
Dog Eyes.
I do want like a shirt that says "Photographer will shoot for tips."
We'll shoot for tips.
Just go to every show like that and have your little tip.
Dude, it's funny too, because how many
Yeah.
times did you get asked to take a picture with your camera and gimbal setup? How many times did that happen?
Dude, since I don't normally shoot video at events, like it was a new experience for me, but it happened quite a few times.
Yeah, it happened to me so many times. Like, can you take a video or can you take a photo? And I'm like always like, sure. Like sometimes I'll say yes and I'll just do like a quick photo, and other times be like, it's just a video camera. It doesn't take good photos.
Do they ask you guys to take it with your camera or with
With
their
the camera.
phone?
The camera,
With the
dude.
camera.
The
'Cause
camera.
Yeah.
They don't know the difference. I
Yeah.
don't think like they don't know the difference between a video setup and a photo setup. So like they're with what, like 10 pounds of like this, trying to get smooth shots. And then they're like, "Can you get a picture?" And it's like, I already have all my stuff like dialed in for the video. Like I don't want to like move my stuff around to take a picture.
Yeah, literally, that's what they don't like. Yeah, like you said, they don't understand. Like you have to switch it to camera mode, and then like if
Yeah.
you need to switch out your shutter speed or whatever, and then like switch back when you're done with it. Like,
Right. And then
But there
like,
was, I was gonna say there was that other guy who had a setup similar. The guy that looked like Neo, honestly.
Yeah.
Dressed
Oh,
like
yeah,
Neo,
yeah.
yeah. Great presentation in terms of his fit, but like he had the setup where he had a video and a camera, and he was doing both simultaneously that night.
that was
I think-
pretty smart. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that whole rig he had.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just think like, oh, I see all that, take a picture. You got a camera.
Yeah, it's funny. I always get asked that question all the time.
Yeah.
And then after a while, like after so many people ask you, you're like, well, it's just a video camera. Doesn't do too much photos, or I don't do too much photos.
Yeah.
well, and then also like the video's going somewhere different. So like the picture's just gonna sit there unless like how do you get it to them?
Yeah, like
You know?
sometimes I don't even get their info.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
That's what you gotta do. You gotta ask for their like socials or something right after. That's what I do at the shows. Like
That's true. That's something I definitely have to be better at.
it's like after I take the shot, it's like, hey, let me connect you on social media so I can send you the info or whatever, or picture it
true.
and then connect and then follow up. It's like, hey, you want to shoot? Here are my rates.
true. No, but another thing that I thought was really cool was the dancers with the disco outfits. Dude, that was so cool. I don't think I've ever seen that at like at any event before. That was super unique. And then they were very good at dancing too, like all their movements and all that.
And then the guy with the saxophone, I don't know his
Yes.
name, but he put on a great performance.
Rico Natty.
I was gonna say
Rico-
something
Rico
natty.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
natty. But yeah, he would go down a runway and play between every collection or designer.
Yeah.
So yeah, day 2 had like 3 designers.
Yeah, he's good. They had him last year too. I'm pretty sure him and then SLE have like a partnership as well, because he was also at some of the concerts that they did. Like he was some of the
nice.
opening people before like the main artist went on. So I'm pretty sure like he has a really good connection with SLE also.
That's cool. Yeah, and definitely like it's something that I think hopefully starting to become more of a norm, but like mixing in entertainment with the with the
fashion.
actual entertainment of the fashion, because like it just makes it more appealing to the average person also.
Yeah.
It's so I think that was definitely a good touch.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
skip something for people to look at more, like the same air show that they had, where they had the model like actually testing the hair, and they had the founder. You guys interviewed her too,
Yeah.
yeah, where she was
Jenny.
talking about it.
Jenny.
So that was cool. That was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. I just love, yeah, I love it when the fashion shows can bring more, like, I love the fashion, but yeah, bring more entertainment, bring more that people will enjoy watching and experiencing.
Or throw something in with the fashion with the show, that kind of like rounds out the theme and stuff too. That's also fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this episode, brought to you by Martini Mates.
No shaker, no problem. Grab Martini Mates ready to drink cocktails.
Veteran owned and found in all Total Wine and more, and in Trevor's liquor locations.
Cheers, mate. Now back to the podcast.
Yeah, then the runway was really cool too. Like the light up runways and all that.
Like
Reflection.
RGB.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked really cool. Very small though. Like a model, they had to like kind of move their shoulder like that
A
whenever
little.
the next one
Yeah.
passed by.
It was
It was a
thin.
little thin,
It's a narrow runway.
but it was good. It looked really cool on
I
camera.
occasionally had a random foot in the shot of the runway shot with the models. Just
Someone else's foot, just
yeah,
like
just a guess. Yeah, I don't know why some guess like the runway is. I don't mean to like talk negatively, but like, yeah, you see a narrow runway, and you just stick your foot out like that. Just
or
like-
some people are like resting it right on the runway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally just
Imagine they do that.
yeah,
That'd be crazy.
just trying to trip the model.
right.
Really?
And then I mean the day 3 one was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Like the runway for that one. So that one, yeah,
They had a second story of Mercedes.
yes.
Yeah.
Then that one just that one was just the one designer, Rami Brooks. So day 2 there was three designers. So the Yandy, Macy's, and then Cami and Jax. So
And
yeah,
then yeah, day 3 it was just Rami Brooke, but she had a very big collection.
huge.
Yeah.
It was big.
They didn't need any other designers because she basically just filled the show.
Yeah, that one was cool. They were like cowboyish, western kind of
Yeah.
style is what they were going for this collection.
And she had like a little message beforehand too, because she couldn't be there, which I thought was nice.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and creative too. Like instead of just being like, I can't make it, she filmed something beforehand.
Yeah.
Little message from the designer directly for everyone. Yeah, that's always a nice touch.
Yeah.
For sure.
What was your favorite part of that runway? Like, I mean, the different, I mean, the people or like the runway or the outfits.
Favorite part of that show was I like the looks a lot. The looks were really nice with Rami Brooks. That desert desert western, but high end, high fashion ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Let's see. I liked how the walk in of it was. You know how they had you all the way on one corner, and then you kind of had to like walk quite a bit to get to the front doors.
Yeah.
That one looked really cool for like shots, for making stuff just look good. Because then everybody, when they were doing like the red carpet photos, it made it look very long and wide. So it looked cool on camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, the runway show was really cool too. Like just a lot of different clothes. So it was fun. Yeah, it wasn't super. I felt like the day 2 was probably the best day, but
Yeah.
it was day 3 for me was still up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think day 2 was bigger in terms of just I don't know how I want to say that. It's just a bigger show. It was a little bigger. 3 designers, so
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
guys
it was
have a model that you think did like really well, or a couple that you think stood out?
you
I
go
mean
first.
the casted one, KT
KT,
did
yeah.
really
She did
good. Like
Yeah.
because we learned a little bit more about her when we were at the Ford.
Yeah,
So
she's
she's been
making
doing
moves.
she's been walking for quite a bit of time, but like she really like she did what she wanted to do. She represented the clothing perfectly, like her
Yeah.
how she walked, how she looked, like the photos, everything was great.
Yeah. No, I think all the models did amazing.
For sure.
They definitely brought their A game. The Ford models are phenomenal and very professional. For me, the ones that stood out, there was Kaylee from on night 2 for swimwear. she had that very bubbly, flirty, fun energy, which is great for swimwear type stuff. And she was like, I know you got videos, and then I have
She was
photos.
a redhead girl?
Redhead, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Flipping her hair and smiling. And
She
like,
did do. She
yeah.
really. She worked the vibe.
She worked the vibe. She
Sure.
knew exactly the energy and delivered. There was what's her name? Breck.
Yes.
Great model, but she has that fierce model, and it's just like that presence when she walks. You're just like, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah,
she's a pro.
Yeah, she's like, she's killing it.
She has
She's
been doing
killing
it
it.
for a while, no? Like
Yeah.
she was super laid back. Like talking to her beforehand, it's like, oh, like how you feeling? Like you stressed, whatever. I'd be stressed, shoot. She was like, I'm chilling. I know I'm gonna kill it either way. And I was like, period.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Like,
the energy you
that's
need to
great.
have.
That was fun, I think.
And then shooting with her, especially the backstage stuff, was fun because like we do the runway and she'd be serious, model face. But I remember this would be day 4 stuff, but because I was shooting from a different angle, I wasn't shooting the main runway, but I was in a turn, and she'd
Oh, yeah, I
see me
remember
and
that
she
one.
knew I would go for the candid, and she'd just like do a little smile or something fun, and then go back to model face.
I
I'm
saw
like,
that one too.
She knows what she's doing. Yeah.
You know what I noticed with this group of models too? They're really all of them, and maybe it's something that just the Ford models are good at. Just working the camera, like they're really good at it.
They kind of
Even-
have to, because like it was funny. Like one time, I asked Cherie, I was like, the models are doing good. They're walking really well. And she was like, well, yeah, they have to be. And I was like, okay, well, yeah.
That's
I,
the
mean, I
level
guess
we're
like, that's
at,
why
yeah.
you're here. Yeah,
No,
you know.
for sure. Like, but I mean, like even not on the runway.
Yeah.
And I think we
Oh,
were
yeah.
talking about this a little bit, where it's like they see the camera, they turn it on, or like they give you like that candid or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, shoot, I gotta take notes. This is because every picture Jeff got of me, I look crazy. So I was like, okay, how do you? That's great. Keep doing that.
Can we
you know?
talk about the favorite picture that we have of you?
Sure, go for it.
With
Which
you
one?
and Franchella. Have you seen it?
Which one?
It's the one where it's you and Franchella. Franchella is like beside you, and she's like fierce model resi.
She's
elegant,
just so gorgeous.
stunning. And then you get Nani with the camera set up, and she's just like,
Yeah, because the gimbal, it started to, so, you know, you're attached, right? I'm listening to what's going on.
Uh-huh.
And it decided to start turning. So it was like pulling my head with it. So I was like,
Oh no way.
yeah. And then that's when he took the picture. And
Candid.
of course,
Super candid moment.
that was definitely candid.
That's hilarious.
oh, I love that shot.
Yeah.
Editor, put that clip in.
Yeah, clip it.
Editor, us.
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny too how like at the Mercedes too, like when you go up the elevator or the escalator, that's really the only way you can go up and
Yeah.
like, because you can't go down unless you take the elevator back down. So like, yeah, they can really trap you up there.
Yeah, that was confusing for a second. And then at the end, they switched it to go down. And we're all like, it
We're like,
switches.
This thing
Like,
moves. Right? But yeah, then, I mean, day 3 was super cool. Then day 4, what did you guys think about day 4?
I like day 4. Day 4 was I think it was a nice chill, just kind of
Yep.
more chill at Scottsdale Fashion Square,
Yeah, the mall.
the mall.
I feel like that one was more for like getting people to know about the shows. Because, yeah, it wasn't as like, they didn't have as many vendors or like things going on. But I feel like that one's more of like a PR move. So then
Yeah.
anybody walking in the mall would be like, what is this? What's going on?
Yeah.
So,
Which
like,
is smart. It's brilliant.
there was so
Yeah.
many people, dude. Like, because of just people walking around, like, it looked like it was packed.
And trust, they were walking through my shots too.
They were walking through
Oh my
mine
goodness.
too.
That
Yeah,
was
then
We were trying to get an interview with the Arizona Flower Market because they had really pretty flowers out, like to give out, which was super nice of them, beautiful flowers. And like the way we were positioned, people just decided to start like walking through there, and so like there was a few that were like, oh, and like they just like, and I was like, oh, if you can go behind me, you know, and they're like, okay, great, and, like, love y'all. But then some people, they would just like walk right in front,
yeah.
and since they're interviewing or whatever, like it covers up the whole interview, and then I'm like, oh dang, we ended up having to reshoot it, but
That's why you
part
have to
of the
kind of
nature.
like be a little closer to your host so that
Yeah.
people can't
They
really
get
walk
it,
through.
yeah.
Because then they'll feel even worse, like if they know they're walking through when you're like that much room.
yeah, well, and then the thing is like there's room behind me too, but people get nervous, I think, and it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But day 4 was definitely like a good wrap up.
Yeah.
It was a perfect wrap up.
We also had
Yeah.
another amazing host, Cami Kufari.
Yeah.
Right? And you guys went around and
How was it working with Cammy?
Cami definitely brought a different vibe. She was also good at
Like
Kinda just-
speaking and like knowing what to film or what to talk
going
about.
through with a narrative. I remember watching the interview with her and Cherie, right?
Oh yeah.
And like that was
she did really good with
yeah.
Cherie. And also we got some content above the runway, because where the runway was positioned on the second floor above it, you could see down to it.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
so that was cool. We got some footage that way, and also had some of her expert commentary up there. So added a little bit to the experience.
Look, give it a little element to each fit, each look. You know, that fashion knowledge. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, and she's a
Yeah.
model too, right?
Yeah.
So she knew some of the people and knows also like what goes into those things. So she was good to speak on it.
Yeah, definitely good to have those perspectives, so then they can know what they're asking questions about too. You know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I was one day that I was super excited for was seeing Ty on the runway because I was
yeah.
low-key kind of like seeing if he was gonna come out the rest of the 2 days or the like Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
But Sunday was the only day he showed up. But when he showed up, I was like, let's go. You know, it was cool to see him on the runway.
And just a little insight, Ty and KT are the two models who were casted for Scottsdale Fashion. Well, for Ford, signed, and then casted for Scottsdale Fashion Week through the casting,
Yeah.
which we were there for too.
So yeah, it was cool again to get their perspectives of like when they casted to seeing them on the runway and like just seeing how they walked and all that stuff. So it was a cool little story.
And
Full
for-
circle.
Yeah, for some of those models, it was their first shows. Like this was their first
Oh yeah.
everything. Oh my god, it was either Aki or Anki.
Aki. I think it's Aki.
Aki?
Yeah.
She's like
Sorry,
super sweet. No, she is super sweet. But I went up to her after I think it was day 3. I think it was day
remember
3.
that interview. Yeah.
And I was like, I love your look. Like you you really commanded the runway, did a great job. And she was like, oh my god, thank you. Like she's super bubbly, but like on that runway, she was like, I would be scared. You know, she did a really good job. And come to find out, it was like her first time walking.
Yep.
I was like, period. She got it.
Yeah.
I was shocked about that too, because she's one of the models that I felt like stood out, at least for me, just because the way she walked was so much attitude. I felt like.
And security and like confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some of especially night 2, some of the shots that I got of her were probably the best shots, just because when she reached the end of the runway, she was just like pose. I was like, oh. Nailed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Gave you something to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good that, I mean, because I'm sure they probably practiced for, I mean, how many weeks? 6 weeks, they said?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they got enough experience for even the new ones to be able to do it well. So
Yeah. And like a compliment to Ford on their training too. Like, yeah, just incredible.
Yeah, it was great. That day 4, I mean, it was cool because I had my little sister there too, and she kind of wanted to know a little bit more about like, because she says she wants to be a makeup artist, you know. So I was like, yeah. I mean, like I tried to bring her on this Friday, Saturday, the one that wasn't the swimsuit night. I tried to bring her that day, but I guess it was too full. So then Sunday she came by and she was able to see how like the hairstylists do the hair and makeup and all that. So that was cool to have my little sister there so she could watch. So that was fun.
Nice to bring her along.
Yeah, it was fun. So shout out to SLE again for just like allowing me to bring her, you know. So they've been super accommodating for kind of anything that we needed during this time of working with them. So yeah, big thanks to Scottsdale for doing all that for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we give a shout out to definitely Scottsdale Fashion Week, Ford, and SLE, just the team itself.
Yeah,
Like everyone
Amazing.
was amazing, super nice, very well coordinated, and they're about it. Like,
yeah,
fun energy.
yeah.
For sure.
SLE's great.
And also like shocker. Media's not always like treated well, or just like
In fashion.
right, and just kind of like thrown there. But I feel like they did a good job at telling us like what was going on, like who was like point of contact, where to get water. They provided food. What, day 2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
they
was
provided
it?
food,
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Chipotle, yeah.
which is like things that like we don't expect. Which it's always nice when they do, but things we don't expect, that it's always like an appreciation where it's like, okay,
Like,
great.
this is for us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's very nice.
You care about us, media? What?
Yeah.
And also Brooklyn and Ashton and Mara, some of the people behind it, they did really good job.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so when she told us, Brooklyn and Ashton, when they told us that we've had their names switched around for months. So like Brooklyn and Ashton, the first shoot that we did with them was at the TBJ for one of their sponsor videos, and this was the first time me and Jeff had ever met them two.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, we mixed up their names. Basically, the one that was named Brooklyn, we were naming her Ashton, and then
Vice versa.
Vice versa with the other one. And then they didn't tell us
They didn't tell us, and they just decided to see how long it would go.
how long it would take until we found out, but we never did until, I mean, the first day of Fashion Week. They were like, oh,
I think
and
it was
also,
day 3. I think it was the 3rd day, because I told you guys, remember? Because I got confused too.
as
We
a
got you doing it too.
day 3 of Scottsdale Fashion Week.
I think so, because I got confused too, and I was like, I feel like we're not getting this right. And so I think, yeah, it was day 2 that I pulled Ashton aside, and I was like,
No,
I
yeah,
was
they told us day 1 at
Yeah.
the one home.
oh, really?
Yeah, they
Well,
were
then we were
like-
still getting it wrong, because day 2, I was like, what is your name, babe? Like, and
Dude,
she was
that's
like,
funny.
I'm Ashton, she's Brooklyn. I was like, great.
We know it now.
She was like, they started laughing. They're like, they've been mixing us up, but like, it's okay. And I was like, I'm so dead.
It's so funny.
So
I
it
felt
just-
bad. I was like, oh, damn it, we're those guys.
Dude, literally. And they kept it going for so long, dude, for literally like 2 months.
Well, they were being good sports about it.
That was hilarious.
They had so much on their plate.
Yeah. No, that's why they're just
That was
super fun. And then like, I don't know if you guys follow them on Instagram, like the SLE account, but you can tell they're all like they get together so well.
Yeah.
Like each one of those people that are part of the team, like just from their reels and all that too, you can tell that it's a good culture to be working there.
Yeah.
So,
No, definitely.
but how's the post-production works going now that kind of everything's over now and we're kind of moving on? How's post-production been?
Yeah. Nani, go first.
Oh, just like looking through. Oh my goodness. I feel like a couple hiccups for me, but like the first one was thinking I lost half of day 3. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah.
that?
Dude, you texted me and you were like,
Dude, so I bought an extra SD card before, just to make sure I had extra on me, and so I pulled my SD cards out of the camera. I went to offload them, and I'm like, why is there only 37 videos for day 3? And I'm like looking them there. I'm like, oh my God, where are they? And so I start freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, I literally only got the runway for day 3. Where is it?
you were just like
And
stressed.
so literally, and so I start looking into it, and I was like, dude, I have to tell Isaac. I was like, I have to tell Isaac, don't fire me, please. So then I texted you, and I was like, dude, we have a crisis. We have a bit of a crisis. And he was like, okay. And
What was that like? You're just like, okay, this is not a good intro.
I was at
What
the
we
I
got?
was at the gym, so at least I had something to like keep my mind off of it while I was working out.
dude,
But
and yeah, so I was like, I think I don't have half of day 3. And like, you were super chill about it. And I was like, you were like, oh, well, like, it is what it is. And I was like, I'm going to keep looking though. So I'm like Googling, I'm like, doing
recovery stuff. And
No,
all that.
literally, I'm like, what? I'm trying to figure out what happened, because I'm like, I was looking through the footage while we were there, so I know it recorded.
Mhm.
So like, at some point, it literally dawns on me that there was a 3rd SD card involved,
That's
and
hilarious.
I was like, oh my God! And my sister was at home with me, and so she's watching me panic, and I was like, yeah. And she was like, what? And I was like, there's a 3rd SD card. And so like I rummaged through my bag, I find it, and I literally put it in a specific pocket so I wouldn't forget about it. I didn't write it on my arm, so I forgot.
That was what made you forget about it.
Literally. So the rest of day 3 was on there. Great. Have all 4 days.
That's one thing that like, especially when you're doing multiple days in a row, like keeping your memory cards organized is like so important, because then like even if you forget to like offload or like format that memory card after you've like transferred everything, then that can get confusing, because then you're like, oh shit, like I recorded the next day on the same memory card, and now it's like you have to sort through everything, and it's a
and
big
then you
hassle.
question if you offloaded it, and then you're like, oh, did I? And then sometimes that's just the nature of the game too. Like sometimes just stuff doesn't function, and so I was like, dude, did I just get got right now about my own stuff?
I had one. This was during this. It was like a Super Bowl fashion show. It's called the what's it called? NFL Housewives fashion show. So it was like something pretty small at the mall. But basically, one of the people there hired me to film her speaking like on the runway. So basically, I did all that, and then plus the runway footage. But when I offloaded everything, I had just offloaded at first everything that was with her. Like that was with her on camera, sent that to her. But I guess like that same day, like I didn't offload the rest of the runway footage. And then the next day I formatted it, because I was like, oh, like I remember offloading this stuff. But yeah, and then all the runway footage was gone.
Dang.
I was like, no.
I've done that
it
before
happens.
too. Yeah, it happens.
I was just like, please don't fire me.
Stress was real.
So many mistakes. That's what I was telling you too. I was like, because even when I film podcasts with like clients and all that, and I forget to record or I mess up the memory card, like I'm like, shit, now I know how these people feel. Like I was like, damn.
No,
because because then you got to redo it and then all that stuff. I'm like, okay, now I see.
Yeah.
Nature of the beast. That pit in your stomach feels horrible.
To me, the worst part is having to tell the client.
Oh my god.
It's like, so we have a problem.
What's the best way to say this?
Yes.
How can I? What does Jeremy say? How can I tell you this without you getting mad at me?
That's so real.
Oh gosh.
Like, don't freak out. I'll give you your money back. I'm so sorry.
How many photos did you end up having after those 4 days?
It was like 4,500 photos from 4 days.
Woo.
So that was a lot. It's not the most I've shot, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, holy.
And it's only because like I was shooting a little bit of burst, so when they're walking down runway, and because the way the lighting was put up for the shows, like it was brighter at the end of the runway versus when they walk. So I couldn't keep a consistent setting, and like I had to work some magic here. So I was like zooming and then adjusting my lighting and everything as between each person walking, and in the span of like 10 feet when they're walking down the runway, I had to like make that quick adjustment. But because I couldn't really focus on a shot, I was like relying on burst, like shift, and then I did that, and it was like 4,500 plus photos.
Yeah, that one was definitely that one. Everywhere I went, I had to readjust my lighting, because if you were too close, then the light was very harsh on the model, and then when you're really far, then like the light wasn't as bad, so then you had to bring up your ISO and all that stuff. So definitely that was one show where I was like back and forth on my settings. Yeah,
and that's part of, I think, like one of the details of like being good at your job is being able to make those adjustments really quick.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, they're walking, they're moving subjects. So being able to, like you being in the pit, just like going back and forth, like those, like making those adjustments within like a millisecond.
Yeah.
Because then you miss the next thing.
Yeah. It's like, being able to make that quick pivot. For me, like a lot of photographers, they'll just rely on a specific things. Like I was trying to capture the end of runway pose and the mid walk, whereas a lot of photographers would just focus on one part. They just have their setup, they have the little tripod, and it's just like click, and then just miss the rest. And then the next walk, get that quick shot of them in the middle, and that's it. But I was overdoing it because I want to get as much as I can. That's always my
And then the reels were cool because of how it bursted. Some of the reels you made were like it looked like they were walking, but it was photos. Like it looked cool.
The stop motion. So I take the still photographies and turn into a video, yeah, and ends up looking. I mean, it is stop motion, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks super cool. So definitely that's something that, I mean, just your unique style that, I mean, you can tell no other, or not a lot of other people here in Arizona do, at least for fashion shows. But
Well, that was fun. That was what's post production like for you so far?
it's been, dude, I just finished up the Scottsdale Fashion Week video.
Nice.
So that one was about a 2-minute, 15-minute video.
Full recap, right?
Full recap of all 4 days. It took me about like 15 hours, 4 days to do it. And now I sent it to them, waited 3 days. They got back to me literally today, and there's a laundry list of revisions to put on there. So there goes another like 2 days, I would assume. Or probably not 2 days, maybe like a couple hours, 5 hours of work, I would assume, because that's quite a bit. But no,
It's
yeah.
gonna be dope though.
Yeah, other than that, the video turned out super cool. Like, I put in a lot of just fun edits. Like, whenever I make an edit, I always try to see what part would sync best with the music, with whatever kind of effect. So I felt like a lot of the shots and edits worked really well, at least from my perspective. Then now I have to change it up a little bit, but that's how it goes.
It does, yeah. And once you get that flow too, it's almost like you're unstoppable, and you're just like going and like I'm sure you do the same thing where you like look at the sound waves for like the beats and stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you're like cutting good.
Yeah, the song is the biggest part of it. There's times where, I mean, even for reels, when I'm editing a reel and I'm like halfway into it and I'm like, I hate this song. I do not want
literally.
this song anymore. So like that's like my biggest fear when doing edits is like, especially high end edits. It's like, if I don't for sure 100% know that this is the right song, then I'm like, I'm gonna struggle later on, because then I'm gonna hate the song and then I have to redo the whole edit. You know.
Or when you're making short edits, I like to cut like the part of the song that I really want to include in, because I don't like when it just like starts and ends. I like when there's like a bit of a build and a drop at the end of the video. So like for like, let's say it's only like 30 seconds or whatever, you know, usually songs are a lot longer than that, right? But so like I become like a mini audio mixer and like trying to make sure that it goes up and down. So like maybe I want to, like, I use the beginning of the song and then I mix that with like the chorus.
Oh, okay.
And then like I chop off the end to make it sure it pulls, like it goes down.
Yeah.
And so like, and I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. It comes out good. You can't even tell. But
Have you ever tried remixing on Premiere? The remix little tab?
no.
That's the perfect way to shorten stuff down from like a 2.5-minute song to basically any second that you want it to be at. And then it'll shrink down that song to that exact time frame. So like,
And you can be specific about what you want in there.
well, it'll keep the beat, like it'll, like how with yours, it'll keep the beginning of it, so then you have that soft beginning, and then it'll keep that ending part, so then it has that soft ending, but then it'll try to make it sound to the beat as it can, so then that way it'll sound like it's not cutting up wrong parts, you know? So it tries to bring it together as best as it can.
Oh, okay. Because like I usually use like like a piece of the chorus that I like so they're speaking, like, and so that's what I try to make sure it flows. But yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I use it all the time. Like I use it for the Scottsdale Fashion Week one, just 2 times, because that one at 2 minutes it was still like there was a little weird blank part, so then I had to remove that blank part and like use that song again and figure out where it could fit into that song. So that's how editing goes. How does photo editing go? Yeah, how was your editings?
And you got them out quick.
I got out pretty quick, but so because a lot of bursts, so it's a lot of batch editing when it comes to like the runway stuff, because it's just the same area, same spot. So it's just like once I find the right edit, it's just batch the rest of them. But it took me a while. I went through, it was 2 days going through all the photos, narrowing it down, finding the ones that are worth keeping, and the ones, the problem with bird shots is like you literally get like 5 shots of just them taking a few steps.
So what do you look for? Like when you're looking for all these stuff, like what do you look at to make sure you're picking the right one? Like, let's say the eyes. Make sure, like, in a burst shot, you're not getting it with their eyes, like, halfway
Yeah.
closed or their mouth a little open. Like, what do you look for to make sure to be like, this is one of the good ones?
Those are definitely factors where you don't want them blinking. You don't want them to do some in a moment where the mouth is like.
Yeah, or
Which
like all weird
happens,
position and all that.
As far as expression, whether they're looking directly at the camera, if possible, or if they're looking in a direction where it makes sense, it works. There's still some type of energy with it, with their personality and energy with that look. It's also the step. So when you're focusing on runway, you want to make sure, one, you're capturing the full outfit, if possible, for the designer, because with a fashion show, it's about the fit. But also you want to make sure the model is looking good and looking right. So when it comes to step, you want it when both feet are kind of down. And if possible, remember how when we were talking to Madison with Ford, and she was talking about like when they're walking, you want the legs kind of like cross,
Oh, yeah.
like step in front.
Oh.
So if I can capture that moment where like both feet are down, it's crossed, that is like the perfect.
The good
perfect,
shot?
Good shot.
Okay.
Otherwise, you try to find something that's close to that.
So that's like when they're walking up to the runway, and then of course you have the shot when they're like posing at
Yeah.
the end of the runway.
And the pose is just trying to capture the garments and a good pose or expression.
Yeah.
Because with the bursts, you get like the in-between movements, which kind of look awkward sometimes. But if you get that final, like just, I don't know, hands on hips or like they're just looking fierce, I don't know. But
Which one would you say like you saw it and you were like, yes? Like which photo were you like, hell yeah?
the one with Aki day 2, in the Yandy, the black fit. Because like just the way she was posing, and just she wasn't looking at the camera, but she was looking off to the side. But
Yeah.
there's just so much attitude, and I'm like, oh, that's a fire shot.
Dude, I love
Yeah.
that when you look back at your like whatever you took and you're just like, yes.
That's it.
Like yes.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's just my favorite.
But yeah, that shot is on the Snapshot account, IG.
Yeah.
So,
Make sure to go check out Snapshot on Instagram and every other platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. So right now there's a lot of his photos which are doing super well. The photos are so crisp, dude. They
They
look
look
so
really
good.
good.
yeah.
So definitely check out everything that we're going to be posting. We have a lot of Scottsdale Fashion Week video content coming up
Yeah.
next. So
Looking forward to that.
be on the
Yeah.
lookout for that. Then, I mean, just to kind of end it off, I mean, New York Fashion Week, how was that one?
Oh, New York was an experience. It was fun. It was exhausting, but it was like just nonstop. I think that's the best way to define New York fashion.
Because that one was also 4 days, right, of filming?
This
Or not filming, photo?
4 to 5, because I went to like 3 different shows in the span of those 5 days. Runway 7, Art Hearts, and the Bureau. And I would switch out between different days, but yeah, they would have designers walking throughout the days, and I was just like moving around, taking the subway from show to show, and wake up early, eat food. Wouldn't get back to the hotel until like 3 in the morning.
What?
Yeah.
And you
Good
left at,
Lord.
let's say, what time? Like in the morning when you left to go?
Well, the
start
first few
day?
days I was like out by probably like 9, 10 in the morning, but then later on in the trip, I wasn't leaving until probably like 1.
You're like, I need my resting time.
Yeah.
Super fair, dude. Oh my goodness.
But it's also my fault because I was going to every after party, just to, I don't know, to connect with people and meet everybody and talk to everybody.
And party.
Yeah, and party.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dude, good times.
Do you have like a favorite show? Or like a moment from one that you were like, no, they slayed that.
Each show was different. They had their own vibe. The Bureau is more selective. I love their presentation. You know those old school New York like elevators that's like huge, and then you have the gates.
Oh, yeah. uh-huh.
Yeah, that's how you enter the show. And I was like, I'm definitely in New York right now. This is cool,
Sick.
right?
That is cool.
That's also the ones you
Yeah.
see in horror movies.
Yep. Yeah.
That always reminds me of Atlantis. Like, I don't know if this is a little bit of a tangent. Like when, I think her name was Angela, was taking Milo Thatch to meet the rich guy. And she was like, they went in the elevator, like the doors closed, and she's like fixing him up. She was like, speaking complete sentences, like keep your posture straight. Like that's what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
But continue. Sorry.
It was definitely that. Yeah, it was cool. But they are more selective in their media, so it was a smaller pit, but which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Runway 7 is a bigger show, bigger production. It was fun, but it was so much media. I felt like they invited everybody they possibly can to do media, because there was like 3 media pits, and each pit had at least like 25 to 40 people in it.
Wow.
All people with cameras and photos and videos just trying to cram. And I'm like, really? Like,
Was
this
there
is-
risers, or you just were all on one floor?
It was kind of like, it was risers a little bit.
Okay.
So they had the runway, which was elevated, and then there was a photo pit right at the end of the runway, and there was like kind of like steps, so you can get different elevations
Okay.
stacked.
I
And
was
there
like, if all of you guys were all on the ground, oh my god, I could imagine that was chaos.
Yeah. And then on the sides there was 2 like booths, which it was kind of on the same level as the runway, so you were above the guests, but it was flat, so only the people in front really got the clear shot. There's like certain shots I was like behind
I
2
remember you
people,
told me that.
and some of my shots you could see someone's like elbow or like a camera
A
piece.
piece of their
Piece of
camera,
their
yeah.
equipment. One of my biggest pet peeves was like I had one guy in front of me. He was sitting, but he had his camera on a tripod. And I'm just like, bro, like us being and it was a tripod that was like mid level. It was like eye level.
And it was like one of
Yeah.
these tripods, like one
Yeah.
that really extends all the way.
Yeah.
Dude.
If you have a tripod, you need to go in the back, like
Yeah.
automatically.
There's certain tripods. When I was in Miami, there was this one guy that had one that was just like the big stick part of it, and then
Oh,
the
the
bottom
monopod?
part was like the tripod part of
yeah.
it. So then that way it wastes the least amount of room.
Yep.
That's what more of these guys need.
Yeah. And that's, yeah. I mean, I did what I was there for. I was honestly out Runway 7 just for one day because I was like, I'm not dealing with all this media people.
Yeah, too
I'm
much.
sorry, it's too much. So then I spent the rest of my time at the Bureau and Art Hearts. Art Hearts was a little better. They had a lot of media. They are a little bit more selective now. And then they had this raised platform. But yeah, I got some good shots from that.
Sick.
And
yeah, dude.
honestly, sorry.
No, you're good.
What you were saying about like having people in your shot, like looking at them later, I preferred those personally.
Yeah.
Because I think it was framing the model nicely. So
Yeah. Well, I had to find that right framing. I'm like, I
Right.
got all this equipment. How can I get? Okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
I'm gonna get the best
Yeah,
shot.
but it's about a lot of my shots didn't come out just because like the person in front of me was also like moving, and then like half the time he just moved right in front of my shot. I'm like,
that's what makes pits so annoying.
yeah,
They get
that's-
so aggressive.
yeah,
People get so aggressive.
Especially people that like have the experience and think that they can just do what they want.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, man. Like,
and just an insight on fashion photography pit. It becomes a dick measuring contest half the time with all these people who've been doing it for a while, who are like think they should get their way or they're the greats. Like, I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm going to do it this way. It's like, well, you're getting in my way. He's like, well, I don't care. It's your,
yeah.
or people who like, it's about who gets there first. Like the person who was in front of me got there first, so he says tripod, and the rest of us are just like, I mean, you could sit at where you're at and have the tripod at your level, or you could have it above you, blocking everybody else's shot behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's a
Yeah.
certain energy with photography at the pit. That's why I don't like shooting pit.
Yeah. Everybody's just doing the same thing.
Yeah, have me
But-
backstage, and I don't have to deal with any of that.
Yep. And also like it's because it's if we all just work together, it's like everybody can get the shot they want.
Yeah.
And like just being mindful, like the guy with the tripod, it's like if you're mindful of your setup or whatever, you go in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If only people thought that way.
Yeah.
no, literally, and like you said, it becomes like a contest or whatever.
Yeah. It becomes a contest where like, well, I've been doing this. I'm a veteran, so I'm going to do whatever I want. It's like, okay, dude.
Unless
Nobody
you're hired to
cares.
be there, maybe. But if you're just there because they invited you and you're not getting paid, like,
Yeah, everyone there
accommodate
is like
yourself.
invited because I'm pretty sure Runway 7 invited everyone they could. So no
Yeah.
one could really say anything. There was this one guy who was a hired photographer, and he was basically at the pit I was at. There was like an elevated thing, it was like seats, the booth. So he was like standing on top of that above everyone else. And whenever he would leave for a little bit and come back, someone would like take that spot and he would just kick him out. They're like, but it's like, I'm hired, I'm part of the team, move. And it's like,
Yeah, well, that
well,
makes sense if he
yeah.
was hired there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was someone who was just there, that's
If they're
like,
part of the actual media team for the show, they get priority no
Yeah.
matter what.
for sure. But yeah, that was, I mean, some really good fashion weeks too. New York and then Scottsdale. So we got a lot more fashion weeks coming up. Anything you want to say or you guys want to say before ending off this pod?
First of many.
First of many. Excited,
many.
yeah. Happy for what we've done recently with Scottsdale and New York Fashion Week, and excited to showcase more of what we have coming.
Yep. So yeah, again, big shout out to Scottsdale Fashion Week for allowing us to film basically everything and cover that show. And we can't wait to do it with more. So
Yep.
you want to end it off?
Well, I think that's it. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time at Snapshot Podcast.
Thank you.
Peace.